I think what we're seeing is a long-term political realignment that's been taking place. From a Labour perspective, we're beginning to see the results of a fragmented working class. And what that basically means is there is now a section of people who once had a very deferential attitude towards kind of what you would call Fabian top-down Labour, who no longer have that. That spell has been broken. Many of them, not all, and I think we have to acknowledge that the North is as complex as any other part of the country. But there is now a group of mainly homeowners, people who may have pensions, investments, who believe that, I guess, that the super wealthy are untouchable, and that ultimately any redistribution and spending is going to be between working people. And they want to protect what they have. And the best way that they can protect that is through the Conservative Party. And in these elections, my party turned up to Hartlepool and to a number of seats across the country with no vision, no policies, and no idea, and basically tried a shorthand, which was to stand in front of a flag with a pint. And it was pretty dismal for us. And I think that there are no shortcuts back to Labour in the short run or the long run. And I'll tell you why. There's a couple of other reasons here on this. The first is the fact that not only is our kind of traditional vote fragmenting, but what we're also seeing in this country is the breakup, the balkanization of the United Kingdom. And for a long time, the way to a Labour government was through Scotland. Scotland's gone. It's not coming back to us. If it comes back to Labour, it will be an independent Scotland with a socialist or Labour Party of some kind that it might go back to at some future point. If they have some form of PR, it will probably be a coalition. But nonetheless, Labour Scotland isn't coming back into the United Kingdom. It's not going to deliver us scores of seats to add into Westminster. That's problematic because that therefore means that we're going to have to win in both England and Wales a majority, which we've never done before, and there's no sign that we are going to do that anytime soon. We are beginning to make gains in the southeast as educated, liberal opinion voters begin to move out of cities. That's going to be obviously pushed on faster and further by the pandemic and people working from home or being able to work outside of cities, and that is having a change. But those votes are going to be up for grabs, not just to the Labour Party, but to the Liberal Party and the Green Party. So that's problematic for Labour as well. We can't count on those votes necessarily coming to us. And I think so far we can see in many parts of the country, looking at Bristol and other parts, you can see that that isn't the case. So on top of that, we also have the problem that so many people in my party are basically saying, well, if we have the vision, if we have the leader, well, that's not going so well, but if we have the leader, if we have the communication, if we have the vision, then we can still get over the line. Well, cephalogically speaking, that's almost impossible, but let's think what over the line means. When people talk about that, what does over the line mean? Over the line means going back to some mythical period where Labour was the main government of power. We've never been the government, the established power of government in this country. In the last century, out of 26 general elections, Labour won just 8 of them, 8 out of 26. So even going back to this kind of mythical time of Blair and Wilson, we were still a party of opposition overwhelmingly. We're hooked on oppositionalism and the trappings of that power. So unless my party embraces PR, embraces a way of working with other progressives to stop the Tories, I'm a socialist. I'm not going to agree with everything that the Liberal Democrats believe in or everything that the Greens or maybe some Greens believe in. But nonetheless, I can understand that my class enemy is the Conservative Party. And under this electoral system, the way you beat them is by working together. Then we can see where we are, and then we can see what we can work together on to fight the climate crisis, to fight growing inequality, to give democracy back to our country, back to people, power to communities. Let's agree what we can agree on. And then under PR, we can work out what needs to happen on a case-by-case basis. But that's what we need to get to. That's the vision my party needs. I don't know whether it will go down that path. I hope it does, but I'm not holding my breath.